Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Friday spot here on Pagan Perspective, and this week we're talking about blessings and how to recognize them, basically. The questioner wrote in a question I'm going to summarize because I don't have the question in front of me right now, but I have read it, and the questioner basically was talking about an experience that they had where they saw a green light crawl up their arm, basically, if I remember correctly. And shortly after they had this experience, they had a vision of what they believed to be Kronos, I think they said. And the questioner said that their wife had said that they thought that this was a blessing from Kronos. And then they were asking our thoughts on it and if we thought it was a blessing from Kronos. I burped. I apologize. I'm sorry. And what we have experienced blessings as, and if we have ever experienced any blessings like this, and how we experience blessings if we do experience them. So my view of the divine, as many of you probably know, is very different than certain people in the pagan community, in the sense that I don't necessarily believe the god and goddess images that I worship to actually be real in the sense of the word that I use to describe reality. Does that make sense? I don't. What I mean by that is, whenever I describe the god or the goddess as a figure or a human or a consciousness even or a personality trait or things like that, it's not literal. It is not something that I actually believe is out walking around in the form of a human shape in the forest or something. It is all symbolic. It is all stories. It is all metaphors to me. It's very much how the Native Americans kind of have tales of, like, you know, so-and-so brings the sun across the sky every morning, and this other person brings the moon across, and different traditions have legends like that, you know. I personally never took them seriously, or maybe that's not the right word. I never took them literally. I never took them as there's actually someone doing this that I could witness somehow on some plane or existence. I took it as metaphors. I took it as symbolism. So whenever we bring up the idea of blessings, to me, I guess what I would consider a blessing kind of depends on the situation. Based off what this questioner asked, this was something that I would consider a blessing, I guess. It's kind of a God's way or a goddess's way of, you know, connecting to you and being like, hey, it's up. You should work with me, or something, you know, or even to just kind of show you that you're doing good progress. But in my head, again, this is just, you know, kind of another visualization that your mind has created to help you process through life's mysteries. And so, whenever you receive a blessing from a divine image, basically what I would consider that as is a psychological state of acceptance, or embarking on a psychological state. And what I mean by that is, whenever you have this visualization of a god or goddess blessing you, it's basically your mind telling you in this elaborate, decorative way, something like, oh, well, you should practice this more, or you should work on this emotion, or controlling it, or having more of it, or, you know, different things like that. It's your mind's way of elaborately trying to tell you something, but trying to simplify it in a way that you would understand easier. And to me, that's what all interactions with the divine are. So a blessing to me would just kind of be, you know, going to that next state, or going to a next psychological state. It's definitely a good thing. A blessing doesn't have any set like, this happens, and then it's a blessing, like, especially since the god and goddess and the divine and all these experiences are very, very personal. They're on a one-on-one level. They're not a, oh, well, if this goddess doesn't come down to you on a purple cloud carrying green roses and doesn't say to you, hoobity-dooby-dot-bop, then you are not blessed by this god. Like, it's not like that. It's very much so up to your own interpretation. So, questioner, if you felt like this was a blessing from Kronos, it was definitely a blessing from Kronos. Now, what does that mean? Who the freak knows? That's up to your own interpretation. I hope my video wasn't too rambly. I hope it made sense. I hope it was insightful to somebody. Thank you for watching me ramble, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.